Good with y'all? I'm making another video. We're gonna do a different type of video today. Hold on. We're gonna do a different type of video today. I'm doing a reaction to the new Elden Ring trailer. Now, there's multiple trailers that came out for this game, so I kind of been stepping away. I only watched one trailer, but they're showing more into the gameplay and everything. So I'm about to just look into that, see what they got going on, because I'm really excited for this. Now, I don't have Elden Ring on the PC. I only have it on the console. But if y'all want to watch me, you know, start from the beginning. Well, matter of fact, you don't even have to watch me. I can just play the game by myself, but you can watch me to the DLC part. So just, you know, let me know if y'all want to see me play the DLC on this on my channel. I would love to do that. Like I love Elden Ring. I'm hyped. So oh, and the video is from a YouTuber. I forgot how to say his full like YouTube name, but his name is Max. Love you, Max. Love you.
What's up, dudes? Max here, back with some impressions of another game.
Yeah, this game looks so freaking good.
It's pretty substantial, as it's probably one of the biggest DLCs for a game ever. It is Elden Ring. Last week, we got the opportunity to go down to LA and not that far away from where I live and play some Elden Ring thanks to Bandai Namco. Big shout out to them for inviting me.
This game.
And yeah, Elden Ring, obviously.
Hold on. Time out. So I want to at least say this. If this is like the Fire Giant on crack, now people that play Elden Ring know that the Fire Giant is like one of the wackest bosses to play. And you just see Fire Giant heads on his body and everything. So hopefully, let me see.
Game of the year back in 2022 and continues to be one of the GOATs. I said at that.
Yeah, you see right there on his, like you can see right there on his thigh and everything. That's the head of a Fire Giant. So yeah, this is like some bull. All right, let's see.
At that point, it's going to go back 10 years before and win every game of the year, and 10 years after and win every game of the year. And who knows, it might just happen after this, because the DLC for this game seems pretty damn good. So let's talk a bit about it.
Okay.
I haven't been keeping up a ton with Elden Ring, just in general, story-wise, lore-wise, that kind of stuff. We're going
so freaking good.
In from a kind of a fresh perspective, at least on my end, where I beat the game. I did the majority of the events in the game, got the majority of stuff, at least on the first 150-something hour playthrough. And I loved it, absolutely loved it. Did not have a commitment to go back, as that felt kind of daunting. But over the past few days, we've been sort of dabbling back into Elden Ring and just jumping in and doing stuff. I kind of missed this about this. I will give you guys some impressions because of that, I really enjoy the first time experience with
must be like a new
these
dungeon.
Souls games, and I'm going to be there day one, obviously, because I want to really absorb all of this. But I'm going to give you some impressions based on a relative limited experience I had. I didn't try to go in there and try to solve everything and do everything.
Okay.
More so just be like, so what about this is
look
really
like
different than
stupid.
Elden Ring proper? And there is a couple of differences, at least in the initial path that I chose, because again, this is a game with a lot of places you can go, a lot of alternating paths. I effectively went to like the left as a result of the Site of Grace and was like, okay, so what's over here? It's a big...
What the hell is that? Is that like a
castle? It's a big,
like a
you
bomb?
know, sort of like big zone and area and level.
It is a bomb.
I'm gonna
okay.
see where this takes me and go fight the final boss. And I did that. And the thing I did notice right at the start is that, at least in this preview build, they give you a character with enough stats to kind of manipulate and play with everything.
Weapon to use.
And there's a lot of new weapons. Most of these have been featured in the presentation stuff that we've seen within like gameplay trailers and stuff.
Hold on. Technical difficulties. I don't even know why I'm doing that.
Blades, or you know, each individual almost like tonfa blades that characters carry. There's a lot of stuff. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what I kind of used. I think I ended up using some sort of relatively generic but new sort of cool big sword. But there's one thing I gotta say, and I don't remember this entirely from Elden Ring, the first one, or at least the initial vanilla version of the game, where a lot of the weapons that they get.
By the way, speaking of vanilla version, some of these mods that they're going to do for the DLC is going to be crazy. And I think that's really what I'm excited for. because I think I'm gonna do like some type of like Elden Ring mod series or something like that. You know, when the time comes and everything. Because I just got my PC like a while ago, and I'm still figuring things out, learning new things about my computer and everything. But I haven't touched Elden Ring on PC because I just been waiting for the DLC. Like, but once the DLC comes, I'm probably just gonna be playing this most of the time on the PC and stuff. So.
Gave us in here had the ability for you to throw them, or for them to be turned into projectiles in some way. There were throwing daggers, there was a spear that could also be tossed with the R2 button. There is like this magic mist sort of move that we've seen in the trailers and stuff like that. There was a lot of stuff in here that acted as not just a close range weapon, but also a projectile attack. And I thought that was kind of fascinating. I thought there's sort of like, yeah, clearly you can play Elden Ring a billion ways, and accessibility is one of the names of the game for the most part. But I thought it was kind of cool that there's even more sort of ways that they're trying to open that up in some way. So one thing I got to say is, like, did any of the experience that I had, even though we did get about a couple of hours, I did not go to every single area, every nook and cranny, and try to explore that therein, or even look for story stuff. I kind of did not want to be spoiled a ton on a large variety of areas, so I mostly stuck to one path and one boss. And as you're probably going to hear from the majority of people, and this was the boss that we all eventually ran into as well. So long story short, I kind of approached this with the same general mindset.
You could see like the attacks that they're doing is completely new. Like usually, and like the vanilla version of Elden Ring, you just swipe dash. Like some of them do different types of attack moves, but this is like, I don't know, this looks like it's so flowy.
Where I did not want to use summons or like Ashes of War, or not Ashes of War, I think it's the actual, you know, physical calling of spirits and stuff like that to help you out. I didn't really want to use that, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stick this and go over there and find something and whoop its ass. And the zone was really challenging with a lot of like cool stuff. Reminded me a lot of, I think it's Leyendell Capital. When you first go there, it just seems like really vast, and there's a lot of labyrinths from above and below. Kind of reminded me of that. And by the time you eventually get through, you are met with this sort of like, you've seen this like character before. It almost looks like there's a person underneath it wearing a lion costume. So there's this big cat creature that you fight, and this boss
he
is
look
a
nuts.
friggin' nightmare.
Yo, he look crazy. Yo, he look crazy.
Yeah, I think I was actually on the boss.
Look at the horn.
Did not want to.
Yo, look at the horns like on his back. It's like, I don't know what that is. That look like something from like the Wild Things. Like that John looked fire.
Get spoiled too much. I just stuck it out. I didn't do summons. I didn't do any spirits or anything like that. I was just like, I'm just gonna figure this out. And I got him as close to like 15%. I might have spent 60 to 90 minutes on this boss, dude. It was legit, ridiculously tough.
Yo, he's gonna piss me off. What is that? What is he spewing out?
Too many spoilers. They gave us footage of it so I can at least show it off, but it was insanely hard. I will say, at some point it was like, okay, we only got 30 minutes left. This boss is being an Elden Ring boss, so I am going to just call a summon and call a spirit and see how it goes. And yeah, it died. Like, you know, like it was not even that hard. So this is
Did it start a recording?
Really difficult boss fight because it's got huge attacks that are very disjointed from where it is, which is just the name of Elden Ring. A lot of consecutive attacks, which is also another Elden Ring stipulation when it comes to a lot of its bosses, and you really got to learn the patterns of this stuff.
Yo, that looks fun. Yo, that looks nuts.
When this comes out, I'm not going to use any of that. We're just going to tackle this, you know, straight up. But this was a...
Yo, look at his face. He looks absolutely insane.
Difficult boss fight, really difficult, where it almost reminds me of the I think it's the Malekith boss fight, but even harder, where it's just
hard than Malekith. All right, let me tell you about Malekith. Malekith is the wackest boss in the game. I don't care what nobody's telling me. Like, he do too many flips, too many tricks. He be freaking throwing. It's like I forgot what it's called, but basically it's like this red laser, and when it hits you, it like completely takes your health always. It eats your health. I forgot what he is. He's like death. Like, I guess like his whole theme is death. So anything, if you get hit or get hit with this little projectile like laser, it pretty much is like eating your life, pretty much. If he's saying he's like Malakath, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm not using summons. Like, I'm playing straight full by myself. So for me to deal with this is gonna probably give me a hard time. All right, yo, this is gonna stress me out, yo.
Jumping all over the place. What the hell do I do? So I was impressed by it, and you know, I was also frustrated by it, as you should be. But still, I'm anticipating there's probably going to be stuff that is equally, if not harder, than that throughout the rest of the DLC. I just have a funny feeling. The other thing that seems very cool is environmental variety. And as we got a pretty good idea that the space we're going to be traveling and traversing through and finding new things in.
Y'all see these little weird worm things? What the hell is that?
It's pretty damn big. There's also a lot of different looking locales throughout this DLC. And if anything's anything, I talked about this before when we were talking about the trailer, the DLC for a lot of FromSoft games kind of defines that game. It sort of is like, you know, the icing on...
Look how big that thing is. Like, hold on.
On top of the cake that is the initial experience.
It's huge.
That's the same thing for Dark Souls 3, for Bloodborne especially, and you know, I think it might also be the case for Elden Ring. But if there's only one caveat, I gotta say, based on what I played so far, and admittedly, that is only a small portion of what is going to be in the DLC, I didn't feel like this was an absolute massive shakeup in ways that maybe some previous DLCs kind of have. And the scope of what we have experienced is still, like I said, substantially mitigated. We don't know exactly how much is going to be here, how modifying it's going to be to your abilities, all that kind of stuff, how much stuff is going to change. At least from what I played, kind of just felt like, oh, we get more Elden Ring. It's just like another continent. Granted, you know, you have to go through the Moog thing in order to make it all happen. It sort of like acts like...
Oh, let me explain to you, Moog. He is my favorite boss. People don't like his name is Moog or Mog, but he's, I think, the Blood Lord, and he's the Blood Lord. He is the funnest boss ever. I hate him, but when you do something over and over, you get better at it. So I really love playing with him. He's my favorite boss, but in order for you to get to the DLC, you have to beat him in the game. So that's how that works.
Like a painted world situation where you travel to this place disconnected from the main map. But who knows? That could change. That might not be the case by the time you play through this thing. And I'm hoping for surprises. I think that's the one thing I'm looking forward to the most, which is why I'm also kind of happy that I just stuck with one area specifically and just messed around with a whole bunch of weapons.
Still DLC.
I want to be surprised all over again. I think not knowing things in a FromSoft game, much less a Souls-style game, is an incredibly valuable commodity, because we're all going to know everything after a week. Everyone's going to know everything about how to beat every boss and every secret thing and every invasion and every yada. We're going to know all this stuff, but there's this wonderful sweet spot, and I've done this many times going all the way back to Dark Souls 2 of streaming and making content for all these games, where people just don't know shit. And I experienced that a little bit at this event, but I did not want to experience all of it. So again, a lot of cool stuff. You know, it was just a lot more weapons, a lot more enemy variety, a lot cooler looking visuals and stuff. I can't wait to run it on my own computer because we were running on laptops. And it just really felt like more of what everyone considers to be one of the greatest games of all time.
You could just throw that
isn't a bad thing at all. Either way, I'm super excited for it. I'm going to be starting up another Elden Ring playthrough, getting into New Game Plus, so we can make it a little bit harder when we get into the DLC.
That's a cool looking enemy.
And yeah, if you guys enjoyed some of this stuff, I'll be back with a more full playthrough later on when we do start up the Elden Ring playthrough on Twitch, so we can get some nice, high-quality, high-resolution videos up here, similar to what we did with the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. If you like this stuff, I appreciate a thumbs up below. I'll be back with that fresh experience as we, you know, try to experience as much of the game as possible without knowing shit, because that is some of the most fun in this entire industry, in my opinion. As always, dudes, thanks a ton for watching. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.
Man, that's fire. That was a good video he made, too. I'm just ready. I'm so ready for this. I've been waiting for this game for a while. Yeah, beast. Yeah, I'm just ready. Yo, this take my money. So that's the video of the Elden Ring like updates that's going on for real. I'm really excited to get this game for real. I would have got a while ago, but I was waiting for something, but you know, stuff happens for real. But I'm about to get it. I'm probably gonna get it right now. Like I can get it. So, but if y'all like this reaction, if y'all want to see more reactions of me doing like stuff like this, just let me know. Like, let me know how y'all feel about it for real. This was actually pretty fun to do for real. I'm still gonna be dropping, like I said, I'm still be dropping gameplays and all this other stuff, but the reaction is dope. So let me know what y'all think, and see y'all later.